steal my money. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. The best is yet to come. That's what every leader knows. Now, a leader knows how to delegate. Honesty. He knows communication, confidence, commitment, a positive attitude, and creativity. But fundamentally, I believe that every leader in his heart knows that if he keeps in his mind the best is yet to come, all of those attributes suddenly take precedence and come to you automatically. Growing up, my favourite movie was Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. I just love that film, love Robin Hood as a historical figure. And there was something on the movie posters that I really loved. And it was for the love of one woman and the good of all men, he fought to uphold justice by breaking the law. Breaking the law. He was flexible. Something was going on with that. Now, as a historian, I studied the historical Robin Hood for 7 years as part of a PhD. And people come up to you and say, "What was your topic?" And I say, "Robin Hood." And they say, "Really, Robin Hood? I thought you have to do rocket science or physics or something like that." No, I actually did Robin Hood. You can actually do that, and it's good because it's fun. Now, the historical Robin Hood, it turns out, he was such a good leader that his legend became the Robin Hood legend, and it endured for 800 years. He was a leader in a country without leadership. Now, who in the audience knows about wicked King John? Victor, you know about him, Ronan. Worst of the kings, that's what the historians say, the worst English king. He gave England to the Pope. Can you believe it? Gave England to the Pope just to annoy a few of his fellow nobles. He was a psychopath. Bad man, very bad. And this would have unbelievable consequences for the people in England, for the English nobility. Now, what do we know about this historical Robin that I've been researching? His name was Robert. He was a knight in Yorkshire, and he had an inheritance. His father, for some reason, seems to have been compelled on his deathbed to give it away to the church. So what did Robert do? Father, what have you done? Well, he couldn't do anything after that because his father was dead. Now, he tried every legal avenue in the book to try and get that land back. Didn't work. But he was a knight. He had some power, he had a sword, he had some friends. And he thought, right, we're going to go around England and we're going to burn everyone. We're going to burn the land of all these corrupt officials and we're going to drive them from England. They're going to be gone. Now, some of these people he wanted to drive out, they were corrupt clerical officials, friends of the Pope. They got rich too fast. Now, when he calmed down and his friends calmed him down, they realized that, well, it's not a good look if we burn their land. Let's do something else. So he did something else, and he found his niche. He was flexible. And he kept alive the spirit in his heart that the best is yet to come. So he and his friends, they put their hoods on. They rode around England. They went to every town for 6 months. 6 months, they identified the corrupt officials, found out who they were, took their possessions, took the corn out of barns they owned, put it on the street, and said, "This is for sale." And guess what? We're selling it for pennies on the pound. It's all going to be sold. Everything has to go. It wasn't even theirs, obviously. And the poor people went up to him and said, "Oh, yeah, sure." And what they even did was, with the money they had after they extracted their expenses, they threw that to the poor. And the guy leading them, he was such a good leader that for 6 months, no one could find him. The king was furious. The king was incandescent with rage. The Pope was bubbling over with rage. He was furious. He said to the king, "What's going on in your kingdom? You're out of control. You've lost control." It was quite a situation, but Robert had the respect of the people, he had the respect of others, and lots of people in positions of power helped him out. But all things come to an end. Now, in the Middle Ages, if you are a man, you have three choices usually. You're a fighter, you're a worker, or you pray. And if you're a fighter and you lost a battle, you better start praying, because lots of those guys, they had their heads chopped off after battle. They were drawn in quarters, especially if they were if they happened to not to be in the king's army after the battle. Robert was captured. He was brought to the king in chains. And the king had every right to execute him then and there, to finish the job. But he started talking to Robert, and Robert started telling him things, started talking about how he should manage his kingdom. He started talking about his problems and the problems the kingdom faced. And the king was so impressed that he not only freed him, he gave him a job. He promoted him. He said, "You want to work for me? As part of the royal cavalry, you can work for me." And Robert said, "Yep, that sounds awesome to me." Now, Robert also went on to meet the German emperor and even the Pope. And the Pope signed an agreement giving him his lands back. He was a good talker. He was a good leader. Honesty, delegation, confidence, commitment, even compassion, creativity, they're all good. But I believe that all come automatically from someone who knows in his heart that the best is yet to come. You have to know that. And then all the leadership traits will follow. A leader is flexible and keeps the goal always in mind and is not afraid to take everything which seems to be a certain way, like this, and turn it upside down to get unbelievable results.
Thank you, Charles.